Sweet Baby Inc. team member claims cozy games like farming sims promote colonialism and must be changed. So I saw this article over at that Park Place and I looked into this. So this is pretty crazy. They had a Game Devs of Color Expo where they did all these talks about everything that you would expect them to talk about. Which is basically removing white people and inserting people of color into video games, because let's be real, that's what Sweet Baby Inc. does. But we're going to be focusing on this one in particular. Decolonizing Cozy Games by Tristan J. Tarwater, They Them. So, I'm going to read the summary here quick. What's so cozy about doing chores when you're at the center of the universe? Tristan J. Tarwater will delve into cozy games and how they uphold values of colonialism in their mechanics and narrative. More than just being about vibes, cozy games project an idea of what is safe and rewarding for players and often promote values of capitalism by rewarding individualism and consumption. What makes them satisfying for many can also make things uncomfortable for marginalized people. By exploring and questioning the definitions and values of cozy games and colonialism, we can make cozy games even cozier. Oh no. I'm not going to say anything on this yet. First, I'm going to show you some of the slides. So let's start here. This is from the talk. These are slides directly from her talk. Decolonization and decoloniality. These are just definitions, often framed as an undoing of colonial influences and structures. It is also a creative process of imagining what cultures would look like if not disrupted by the exploitation of colonialism, aka if there were never any white Europeans that colonized here. It would still be a bunch of people living in teepees and wigwams. Decoloniality. The practice of rejecting Eurocentric, see there it is again, Eurocentric, aka white, ways of knowing and being. This concept acknowledges how different concepts of the cosmos influenced knowledge acquisition, information storage, and transfer in ideas of the self. Oh no. Oh no. Colonialism in cozy games? Where? Huh? So many white people. Yep, there it is. I could have just not even told you this is Sweet Baby Inc. and you just know it instantly based on that. Because that's what Sweet Baby Inc. is. That's their prerogative. That is their entire function as a business. Basically a leech on game developing studios. Is to remove white people, mainly white men, pluck them out, throw them in the fucking trash, and put in a black woman of color. That's what Sweet Baby Inc. is. That's what they does. That's what they do. The outside individual who saves the day. So I'm thinking of Stardew Valley. You know, you show up, you're the new guy. You show up on the plot of land that's being sold, and you kind of restart the whole town. You know, you give it new life. You form relationships with the NPCs. Maybe start a romantic relationship. They don't like that. They don't like a white man coming from the outside, like in Stardew Valley, and basically being the center of attention in the town, you know, being the guy who gets everything done. They don't like that. They hate that, especially because it's a white guy. Corn and wheat make number go up. See, they don't even like it that they just don't like mechanically how farming sims work. Because the only one I've really played is Stardew Valley. I probably have 40 hours in that. But they just have a fundamental problem with you farming crops, selling them, and making money off of it, because that's capitalism. And in their eyes, that's evil. So just making money by selling crops, using that money to buy more crops, maybe grow your farm, maybe buy a sprinkler, that's bad, because that's capitalism. That has to go. That's not cozy, according to Sweet Baby Inc. Nuclear family? They even have a problem with families in cozy games and farming games. You can't start a family. You want to have a romantic relationship with one of the NPCs, have them move into your farmhouse and start a family with them? Nope, that's not cozy. That's colonialism. Monochronic structures, 4 seasons, Gregorian calendar. Why do they have a problem with the 4 seasons? That's like a staple of all farming games. You go through the seasons, you know, winter, there's snow, you know, spring, everything's blooming, fall is my favorite, and then summer. That's like a core feature of farming games, but apparently they have a problem with that because it doesn't represent, you know, sub-Saharan African seasonal cycles, does it? No, this is wrong according to them. Conveniently ancient civilization. Spirituality is silly? So they're basically just saying, oh, spirituality, any religious aspect, you know, having any spiritual connection to the land, which is probably pretty common for a lot of people that enjoy these kinds of games. That's silly. That's just silly. Why even include that? Straight up racism. I mean, for them, they probably see a white man in a video game and just say that's racist. So I don't know where they're pulling this from, but it's not surprising. It comes from Sweet Baby Inc. We can start the process of decolonizing and practicing decoloniality. That's a word I never thought I'd have to say. By questioning ourselves and those we trust around us. So they want to they say we can decolonize cozy games by just asking these simple questions. What does safety mean for the audience we are trying to reach? What mechanics, rewards, cultural touchstones, and character archetypes will we implement that resonate with them? Okay, so they're saying we can decolonize cozy games by inserting more black characters. This is what they mean when they say this. What character archetypes will resonate with them? Well, we've seen what Sweet Baby Inc. thinks resonates with people. Black females. This is what they do. They remove white male characters and they insert black female characters. That's their entire prerogative. That's their entire existence. This is what Sweet Baby Inc. does. So understand, when they say this, this is exactly what they mean. What is the relationship with the player character to the NPC community, and how can we handle this mechanically and narratively? And I think this is just them having a problem with games like Stardew Valley, where again, the character is sort of the center of attention in the town. They move in, they make a lot of money, they have all these great relationships with all the NPCs. They have a problem with that. They don't like that because that's colonialism. How many generations of people are present at any time? And this is alluding to them earlier saying that multi-generational households, that's bad. That's a symptom of colonialism. You can't have that. Nuclear families, a stable relationship between a husband and his wife, and they're raising a child. You can't have that. That's not cozy. That's colonialism. How is time measured, and how does this play out mechanically and narratively? Again, I can't think of anything else they can mean by time measurement aside from the 4 seasons, and them just having a problem with it not representing like the one season in sub-Saharan Africa. Like, what are we talking about here? Game, and they close, this is the funniest part. They close it with games to check out: Fields of Mystria, Saltsea Chronicles, and Mutazione. Tales of the Shire. Well, I don't know if you know this, but that's their game. Tales of the Shire is a Sweet Baby Inc. game. So they're just shamelessly promoting, just a shameless marketing plug at the end of their talk. Hey, check out our game, Tales of the Shire. Great example of games that don't have filthy colonialism. You really can't make this stuff up. You really cannot. But let's close out the video by reading the conclusion of this article. It's less about player escapism and more about ideological policing. Yep, I couldn't have said it better myself. This is what Sweet Baby Inc. does. And the recommended fix just so happens to run straight through games that Sweet Baby Inc. itself has a hand in shaping. The recommendation comes at a time in which Sweet Baby Inc. games like South of Midnight are tanking with gamers. I mean, South of Midnight was always tanking with gamers, let's be honest. If this is the vision Sweet Baby Inc. is pushing, the future of cozy games may look far less cozy and far more like an exercise in box checking. Yeah, where all the boxes to check are just black females, black women. How do you feel about Sweet Baby Inc. claiming cozy games are colonialism? Yeah, let me know. How do you feel about it? So yeah, that's pretty much the end of this video. That's the gist of it. You got these psychos telling us that your cozy farming games where you play as a white man and just, you know, chill out, make some crops, make some money, grow your farm. That's actually bad. That's evil because that's colonialism. So shouldn't be surprising coming from Sweet Baby Inc. But yeah, let me know what you think about this. Leave a like if you like the video, dislike if you dislike it. Comment, let me know what you think about Sweet Baby Inc. today. How they're doing, how their images, if there's any games you've thought about getting, but maybe Sweet Baby Inc. were involved. Probably not, let's be honest, because all the games they're involved in are trash. But I'm going to end the video there. So yeah, again, like the video if you liked it, dislike if you dislike it. Thanks for watching. Peace!